Well, hello, everyone. Hi, Scott.
Hi, Scott.
What's
What up,
going on?
Spooky Booze?
Now, Scott, you're trying to figure out what you're getting yourself into, aren't you?
I don't know. What?
Just
Hey,
run.
Amber.
It's hard to,
What's good,
it's hard to
Everett?
tell by out of you. You're he whoever.
We got a topic today.
For once.
That's dangerous.
You might have heard about this one.
Hey, Blue Eye.
What up, Blue Eye?
Hey, Diva.
I'm driving, Everett.
Now,
Hey, you can have that stranger up in the top left show his feet. Once he's hardly not. Once he's been a ghost a lot.
now, this is kind of a serious topic.
Kinda.
It only happens on the 7th year of every decade.
And we're not talking about Jeepers Creepers.
And we're not talking
Yeah,
about
that's right.
Hang on, and we're not talking about Scott seeing his little buddy down below.
Fuck you.
Or the midget.
Fuck you.
Better than
Everett's looking, Chris.
You're going to have to wait, Everett. Now, this whole story starts back in 1887 in Wexford County. That's when the first sighting of this happened. Ain't that right, Tanya?
Yes, but you talk slower than molasses.
I know, it's like taking like 3 hours to get two sentences out. I'm already falling asleep.
Okay.
I'm sorry, folks. He's still trying to get the
Now,
cobwebs cleared out.
the
That's
thing
why it's taking
is,
forever.
not right now, Madison. This is about a mythical creature or a cryptoid that me and Froggy loves to chase around. Any cryptoid, actually. But this one's in my home state. It's about the Michigan Dogman. Now, how many of the things out there are actually to be fact or fiction, though?
Right. But since there's been literally videos left and right of it, it cannot be a fiction.
No, Diva, we're not talking about you. Unless you're in Michigan. But you're not a man, though. Now, if Scott was in Michigan, we might have been talking about him.
Well, I used to live in Michigan.
You've heard of the stories about the Michigan Dogman, haven't you, Scott?
No.
Oh. There's a whole song on it.
There is.
It was actually put out by a disc jockey up in Traverse City. And it all started out to be a whole April Fool's joke, but then they started having callers come in saying they've seen something like that. So, like I said, how much is the fiction fact, or how much is fact that is fiction?
Right. Let me see if I can find anything on it.
My dad actually thought he seen it by the expressway coming home from work. And with him coming home from work, since he worked the afternoon shift, of course, he would be tired from working all day, then driving 2.5 hours to come home.
Okay, the legend of the Michigan Dogman. Once upon a moonlight night in the dense forests of Michigan, a creature of folklore or and mystery roams the shadows, the legendary Dogman. While many websites touch upon the surface of its existence, we embark on the journey to delve deeper, exploring sightings and unrevealing the history that shrouds the canine-like being. Okay. Okay, so it started in 1887. Um by lumberjacks, as we know as the
Yep.
song goes. So it says the legend has persisted with claims that the Dogman appears every 10 years, with a new sighting arriving on years ending in the 7. The history of the Dogman is deeply rooted in folklore and has become a source of fascination for many, contributing to Michigan's rich tapestry of mythical mysteries. Sighting of the Dogman are more than mere whispers among the trees. They are tales passed down through generations, etching themselves into the fabric of Michigan's campfire stories. From the quiet towns to the remote woodlands, eyewitness accounts paint a vivid picture of a creature standing on two legs with the head of a dog and the body of a burly man. Beyond the mainstream stories, we unearth rare encounters that have not graced the headlines. Um, Dogman history. To understand the history of the Dogman, it is native throughout the uh, labyrinth of mysteries and truths. Some traces its originals to the Native American legends, intertwining the creature with the spirits of the wilderness. Others speak of a more recent history where sightings surged in the late 19th century, leaving communities both baffled and feared. Then
Now,
it tells you about the song.
yep. Now, the thing is, people also believe it's folklore of the Indians. So, could this Dogman actually be a skinwalker?
Hold on.
But yeah, before you started all that, while you're reading, I'll go ahead and put this out. On my dad's way home from work, driving down the expressway, he thought he seen a dog man. My mom said, yeah, whatever. Well, in the newspaper ended up coinciding with the story my dad told my mom before the paper was printed.
Where's Dad? Neighbors. Neighbors. Is he mowing?
There actually has been no attacks by this creature on any human being or anything else. But the thing is, it appears in all different places in the U.S. Now, right now, Flash, we're actually talking about a subject here that's paranormal or cryptoid.
Cryptoid.
or cryptic zoology.
There you go. That's a better one. Cryptic zoology. A mythical creature that has not yet been caught on film, but the folklore has been there for years.
And actually, I don't know how much I'm going to believe half of the videos on YouTube where they said they have caught it, because like the song goes, it has head of a wolf or dog and a body of a human, burly human. There has been people out there on YouTube with videos posting that they have caught it on camera. Yeah, this is all I do. I listen to these videos while I'm working. But
That don't run like a bear. What the fuck?
it runs like a dog.
The video I just sent you at the very back, like 3 minutes and 10 seconds in, it looks like a fucking log. And then it starts moving, but it doesn't run like a bear. And it ends up killing the recorder. So there might be a possibility that the Dogman or something along those lines has actually killed somebody. But the issue is with what up, Broppy?
Yeah.
Not mine.
I seen this video to a point because it didn't show the whole all of it.
Right, go to 3 minutes and 10 seconds. I wish you were watching it on like the big screen. Cause I put that shit full screen on my computer. And you can see so much more.
That almost looked like a fucking bear.
It does look like a bear, but it doesn't run like a bear. A bear don't run sideways. Did you see that? Right. A bear does not run sideways. A bear will charge at you. That's almost like it didn't know which direction to fucking run. But
you want to know what that looks like? Okay. I watch a lot of videos on dogs, okay?
Yeah.
About the top 10 dogs. There's a dog out there that is that like stands about 4 or 5 foot at the shoulders. And it's fucking hairy as fuck. I can't think of what type of dog it is. But it's a big protective work dog.
Almost fell over when you jerked that. You meaty.
Hi, Mommy.
Hey, Mom.
You don't love me no more.
Okay.
I love you.
Would you say?
Okay.
I love you too. And I know you love me.
But you know the dog I'm thinking of, right, Tanya?
Yeah, it's like a Great Pyrenees Mastiff. Let me see if I could.
Something like that, but they don't call it a mastiff. A keel or some shit like that.
How can you compare?
The English Mastiff is one of the biggest dogs.
I thought
But
I
Yeah.
explained him to you.
I know what you're talking about. It's a Tibetan
Tiberian.
Mastiff.
Yeah. Now,
I
isn't that what that
understand
looks
that.
like? In
Yeah.
a way,
Yeah,
it's like somebody had one as a pet and they got loose and started living in the woods.
right. I would love a Tiberian Mastiff. I don't know where the fuck I'm gonna put it.
But don't blame anybody that's living in this house.
So, now, would you classify that
Not
as
even this
actual
this
evidence
rat.
of being a dog man?
No, because it
Because,
ran on all fours.
well, a dog man will run on all fours too, but it also has the choice of running upright. And they're a lot quicker than what that is.
Right. This is what it looked like. Hold on. I can't share it. Oh, I can. Hold on. Let me see.
What in the world are you talking about, Alex?
You've been using it for your clothes.
You gotta prove it.
Yeah, that's what it
That
looked
one
like.
right there. Yeah. Is one of those.
Hello.
But like I said, how can you tell what it is if nobody's really actually caught it on video? And like I said, with that video, that's what it looked like. So I'm going to have to say that is video of communication, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Hang on, I'll see if I can find a picture of what people are saying this creature looks like.
I think Proppy wants to come up with us.
I think so too.
Huh? What did you say?
Hi, Madison.
My computer's acting up again.
No, it's not the computer. It's the operator of the computer.
Last time we had to fucking go through and delete like 100 fucking photos. Chomper! Chomper!
There we go.
You
Okay,
ain't done. Come on. You ain't done. Good boy.
this is what people are saying the Michigan Dogman looks like.
That kind of does look like what was in this video, though.
Not really.
The other one was bigger.
And there was more fur
It was
on it.
right, and it was closer to the ground.
Because if you look at it, this is not all furry like that was.
Right. That looked like a mixture between a grizzly bear.
And right here's that video too.
Right.
You need to have a talk with your son there, Froggy.
He's quoting a fucking movie.
I
Figure
know.
out the movie.
But so now, with those pictures, can you really see that one video looking like any of this?
No.
That looked like a big ass fucking fur ball that wanted to play.
Right.
Now, Alex, I'll send you an invite if you can stay on this topic.
It's Deadpool. He's quoting Deadpool.
Yeah.
No.
I already sent him the link. It's in his fucking Discord. Because you got to remember, we only have him on Discord.
There. I sent him the link too.
But no, I want to. Let's see here. That gives me 3 years to get a working car. In 3 years, I'll probably have 2 dogs, maybe 3, possibly 4. We could go for a run, yeah.
Hey, you can buy Chris's Flintstone car.
No.
I'm
The
sorry,
one he was driving around before he got the truck.
Well, I won't even let my kid drive it with as much problems as we had with it.
Exactly.
How can you have problems when there's no motor? It's foot power. It's foot power.
That's only the midget in your ass using you as foot power.
But let's get back to the subject. Yell at fucking my son, and you're over here fucking veering off subject. I think if we got the exact location of where it might be.
Well, the one it gives almost.
Right. It gives around the woods, the towns around those woods. And in the woods, we could rent out 2 cabins. You in one cabin, me in another cabin. Set up cameras and go hunting at night.
Well, that's the thing.
Flash, we're not talking about that yet. We're on something more better. We're on something specific.
Well, we got a general location. Wexford County, near the Manistee River, by the, I can't remember what swamp it said it was, is where the old logging camp was.
Right.
Plus, there is actually a location for the Bigfoot here in Michigan. It's another logging camp, or former logging camp, for Bigfoot. And I know all about those woods. Scott probably heard of the place too.
What? What's the place called again?
Fuck. Now I can't even think of it. Pinewood, I think. Pinewood Forest.
Kind of.
It's up by
Sounds
Grayling.
familiar.
It's up there by Grayling. They turned it into a museum and everything for logging.
Okay, so there is a trail on the trail of Bigfoot in northern Michigan forest.
Heartwood Pines is what it is.
Yeah.
You've heard of that, right, Scott?
Hardwood pine, you said?
Heartwood Pines.
Hardwood pine.
It's up by Grayling.
It does sound familiar. I'm not saying I have or haven't. It just sounds familiar.
Heartwood Pines in Grayling. Hardwood Pines in Grayling is what Hartwick Pines is what it is.
Hey, Dorian.
What up, Dorian?
But there they got the hardwoods. They got a river or lake there.
For the deck, the belt for the transmission to get it to move.
It fell off?
Yeah.
So we're going to need a new one.
Most likely. I got to find out what's wrong, why it fell off. Because there's supposed to be a guard to help keep it from falling off.
Yeah.
And that's just wore out.
Could be wore out. You mow a lot of yards. You're old. It's old. It's okay.
That's okay, old. Fuck, I'm over that lawnmower.
So, in Michigan,
Yeah.
there is a dogwood, but it only comes out every 7 years. That gives us 3 years to rent a cabin, get the money to go up there, a nice vehicle to go up there, and explore the Michigan forests. What do you say?
Fly to Michigan, rent a car.
Okay, you fly to Michigan, I'll drive.
Why?
I don't fly. Fat people don't fly.
Bullshit. Planes are fat and they fly fine.
So, is he up for it? And plus, you can bring the poopy dogs.
He says, plus we can bring the poopy dogs.
Great.
He says we're taking a train.
You understand? I'm tired of putting that many miles on a big vehicle. Look what I'm doing now.
No, we'd rent one. I guess we can
Frankie
fly
wants to
it.
take the Greyhound.
You can kiss my lily white American fucking ass, bitch.
I will kick her ass if he thinks she's going to take the Greyhound.
No, Froggy wants to take the Greyhound.
Either flying or a train. One of the two.
We'll fly.
Hey, ask Roy if you take the Greyhound, does that mean I can put my foot straight up your ass?
Train.
I don't know if there is a train that goes to Michigan. Hold on.
Yes.
Yes, there is. Right through Detroit. There's a Greyhound Amtrak station in Detroit.
There's actually, you can actually take it to Michigan or to Jackson even.
Jackson, all the big cities.
So from Dallas to Detroit, it's going to be a 1 day, 14-hour trip in the train. And it's going to cost us $258 per ticket.
Michigan?
Yep.
But
What about to Jackson?
Once
the
we
good
get
thing
to
about
Detroit, we can rent a car and make it to Jackson.
Or I can just come pick your yellow belly ass up.
Plane quicker, but unless you got a detour or some shit. But you just sit in one seat all the way.
Right.
And you go with the shit. This way he's riding a train, you can be videotaping out windows and shit.
Done deal. We'll take a train.
Then especially when you get a stop in the middle of the woods waiting for waiting for another train to pass, or you got to wait on the drawbridge, you can step out. They'll let you step outside, have a cigarette or whatever. I took Amtrak before.
Right. We'll go ahead and just take a train up there. Then we could go ahead and.
See, you can be in one room, take the map, get where we're going, get the car we rented, because you got to rent that ahead of time.
Right.
You got much, you should be fully vested by the time you take the car.
Right. And then we can go from Detroit to Jackson. Or wherever we got to go for this fucking cabin.
Ouch. And then after you're done with that, you can take Amtrak going from Detroit to Syracuse, New York.
Mm-hmm.
But you can find them cheaper.
You can find them cheaper, especially if you just do like
That you
round ticket and fucking pay it a year in advance.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You do it and you pay in advance before they get booked. Because when they get booked, the ticket gets higher.
Right. No, that sounds like a good deal to me.
Oh, then afterwards, they grab a train going from Detroit to Syracuse.
Dog you want, or whatever, and make the work the other train.
I guess we're supposed to go from Detroit to Syracuse.
And Tanya,
New York. Yeah.
where are you going to be leaving from in Texas?
Dallas.
Why?
So I could go visit Scotty. No wonder you're hot. It's 106 out.
It was nice out when I started.
Welcome to Texas.
Well, I bought a yard, I made a script 2 hours, and goddamn, it's already hot.
You can take a right to Jackson from Dallas
Right.
instead of having to go to Detroit.
The only issue is I don't think we can take our dogs.
Some trains do let you take dogs. They have kennels and shit.
Yeah, they got to be in a crate.
So which ones are we leaving home?
Chopper.
If he's alive in 3 years.
Yeah. Coco.
It won't be alive in 3 years.
Oh shit. Oh shit. Look at Coco.
She can barely get up.
Oh shit. That guy's on heavy. You talking about being fat, man. Ain't that right? At all.
So, folks, just to let you know, Froggy's going to end up falling asleep in that train. The next thing you know, she's going to bypass Jackson, Detroit, be somewhere where she don't know. That's how comfortable the seats are on Amtrak.
We have to get a killer out here for him.
Right. Get a kettle, put a kettle, dump, what? 200-300 bags of food at each side, and then put a doggy door so they can go in and out, and put 2 pools of water.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, and Froggy, you want to know another good thing about Amtrak? If you got a car, you can bring your car, too. You know those cars, those Amtrak cars without no windows?
Yeah.
That's where they store the cars at.
We'll just have our neighbor come make sure my dogs stay in the fucking fenced
So if
in
you got a car,
yard.
you won't have to rent a car.
We'll just make sure we'll have the neighbors come make sure the dogs stay in the fenced in yard, so we don't have to add on fees to it, because it's already going to cost $750 plus a rental, because Roy wants to get a rental, and then $750 back, so that's $1,500 plus a rental of a car, which is like
joined, but I don't see him.
$200. Plus food, lodging, paying somebody to watch my dogs. We're looking at right about $6,000 for this trip. Hey, did you ever message Lunatic Bob to let her know that you lost her
Not yet.
number? Let me text her.
I did this for over a year in advance.
Hey Siri, shut off my alarm.
Not welcome, Siri.
Okay. Now, Tanya.
Yeah.
This is for 3 people, okay? For about a year in advance, over almost a year in advance. 40 hours and 47 minutes.
That ain't
Private
bad.
room for this one's $19.96. The one above it's $21.56. $20.70. $15.95, and that's all for a private room.
That ain't bad at all.
What, on Amtrak?
And that one is 29 hours and 48 minutes.
Yeah, we'll look at that shit in 2026. We'll
But I'm just
start
telling you
saving
right now, that's what the prices are.
Right, like I said, we'll just start saving for now.
Or if you want to do coach, it goes anywhere from 169 to 2020 or 220. And I don't know if that's per ticket or what. Or per person or what.
I don't know. I let Mom know that you lost her number. What up, Gemma? How you doing?
Hello,
Hey,
Gemma.
Gemma.
So let's get back to this whole topic. So what do you think, Tanya? Do you believe it to be true or just a bunch of smoke and mirrors?
I mean, there's always a possibility, but at the same point in time, every possibility has every possibility of it being true is a greater possibility of it being fake.
Right.
So.
Ooh, Gemma, this was another good subject probably Gemma would like to get in on.
I mean, you got to think about it now. Every mythical creature has a folklore, right?
Yes.
Those folklores are passed down from the native people in our area.
Exactly.
Who is to say that folklore is wrong?
But who's to say that folklore's right?
Well, it has to be based off of something. It can't be based off of nothing but a figment of your imagination. It can't be. Now, if it was a bunch of lumberjackers that were playing with it, packed up camp and never seen again.
Exactly. And there has to be some truth behind the fiction.
Whether it be something followed them or whatever.
But there's also another factor you can add into that. Look how much drugs was done back then.
Right.
Even
But,
in the Bible, they talked about doing drugs.
right.
So how much of that's all hallucination compared to truth?
Exactly, and that's what folklore comes into
Play.
play because was it a hallucination? Now, back in the old days, they didn't have drugs like we have now. The only thing they had was marijuana and peyote.
Right.
Cocaine wasn't a huge thing back then.
Exactly.
Methamphetamines wasn't a huge thing back then. Those weren't created until the later 19th century.
But you also have to realize what's peyote.
Created that. I'm doing good, Gemma.
Peyote comes from a cactus.
Yes,
It's the liquid from a cactus.
It's
now,
also a hallucinant.
Right. But again, most people who did peyote back in the days were only the Indians. Most of the Indians are not going to be lumberjacks. You see where that falls into it, because most of the Indians lived on Indian reservations or their governed land. Now, you take it, the fact that they're on their governed land, they don't have to pay taxes or anything. They can grow their farms, whatever.
Exactly.
They grow their own tobacco, all of that shit. Now, they're not going to go sit there and freaking become lumberjacks when literally they are given so much money every year by the government or every month by the government for basically the rights of the land.
Right.
Because the government came in, took it over, and that was their agreement, right?
But also, you have to realize when it came to the Indians, their biggest part was in trade.
Right. But again, they're not gonna go be lumberjacks. They're gonna go cut the fucking trees down themselves.
Right. And I get what you're saying. I do. But how do you know that part of that trade did not include the peyote from the Indians for something that the white people had?
Nope. Because peyote is considered a sacred was considered a sacred herb or thing to the Indians. They used it on their dream walks. They're not going to trade it out, especially because peyote is really hard to find.
Okay, here's my next question to you.
Right.
I don't know if you know too much about movies and stuff, but the closest thing to real life events in movies was Young Guns.
Right. And again, there's a lot of fiction in it because nobody truly knows what happened back in those days except for people who lived back in those days. And I am sorry, there's nobody over fucking 1,000 years old.
The last member supposedly that was alive of that whole gang for Young Guns was actually Billy the Kid, living under an alias back in the 1950s as Bushy Bill Roberts.
Right.
How do you know, for instance, he was not showing how to make that drug or use that drug from the Indian that was in that group, and he didn't pass it on to other people?
Okay, but again, we're looking at a very small possibility that even people who okay, so now the myth is that it comes every 7 years.
Exactly.
There are people who were traveling The ones that rented the cabins.
Yep.
They're not going to go there, rent a cabin, do a bunch of fucking peyote and all this other shit, and be like, oh, let's go look for Bigfoot.
But you see what I'm trying to do.
Right. You're trying to make sure that everybody realizes that at the end of the day, there is a possibility that every 7 or every 10 years on the same fucking month, somebody who is on enough peyote or methamphetamine or LSD or whatever might hallucinate the same fucking thing.
Well, that's not what I'm actually trying to get at.
But if it is if they are a hallucination, let's right. Let's run this bitch through, okay? If it is a motherfucking hallucination,
why is people seeing them?
That would mean that everybody on the drug hallucinates the same fucking thing, which would mean that there would be a lot more fucking sightings than what there is. Let's take a meth head from fucking the back of the woods, fucking downtown hick fucking country, Michigan, and a meth head in California. I mean, talking LA, California. If they're both on meth, they both hallucinate the same thing, then we could state that it was a drug-induced hallucination. But because it doesn't matter what drug you are on, meth users have different hallucinations.
Exactly.
Peyote people have different hallucinations to different people. It doesn't matter what you are fucking smoking. You're going to see something different than somebody else.
Right, and I get that.
So, there is no possible way the same type of the thing has been seen every 10 years, ending in a 7 with people hallucinating the same fucking thing.
Right.
No fucking possible way.
What were you
now,
going to say about the speaker? What about my speaker? Or something. No, it's not.
Now, let's take Bigfoot. Because we're in the mythical creature shit, right? Let's take Bigfoot. Let's take, say, me, you, Scotty, Roy. All go out to the woods. I take peyote, you take meth, Scott takes fucking weed, and Roy takes LSD. No. It's a hypothetical. Now, when we take those and we all hallucinate the same fucking thing, that means that it is not considered a hallucination of the drugs. Therefore, it has to be there. Because you're not going to hallucinate on marijuana.
Exactly. Scott just doesn't know what a hallucinate is.
Fuck you. Yes, I do.
And LSD, you're going to see colors. Oh, I'm sorry. That's wrong. You're going to hear colors. You're going to taste fucking sound. Okay? That's how it is. Your shit's all fucked up. You're not leaving that goddamn site. And if you do leave that site, you're going to see dragons and all this other shit. You're going to see fucking Barney down the goddamn road.
Hey, target practice.
It is what it is. But you cannot tell me
Chris
that
is going to be chasing Teletubbies.
Right? You cannot tell me that if we all took a different drug and we all seen the same thing, that all of us would have the same hallucination. That means that someplace in the reality of the qualms of our mind, we seen what was there in real life, but we were hallucinating at the same point in time. I gotta go potty, so y'all have fun with this subject.
No, I wasn't talking about. I was not talking about the whole thing of it being drug induced. I'm just throwing it out that a lot of it could be drug induced with hallucinants, but not all. Especially when you have kids out there seeing the same thing as adults out in the woods at the age of 14. I don't know about you as a kid or me as a kid. Well, I know about me as a kid. But you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But we weren't doing that. We were outdoors constantly in areas where we probably shouldn't have been.
Yeah. Getting in trouble with state police, too. Uh-huh. Yeah.
Exactly. Well, we know Scott is very educated, of course. He graduated in Michigan in one of the lower.
Actually, I didn't graduate.
Oh, you didn't?
Nope.
Thought you were too cool for school?
I dropped out in 10th. No, I dropped out in beginning of my 11th grade.
But anyways, the whole thing is there are creatures out there that people are saying they've seen, but
That
not
isn't true,
everybody.
right?
But there are creatures out there said to be true that nobody's seeing. Like I said, take Bigfoot, Hartwick Pines. When it was a lumber camp, they actually had a clause in their contract. If you see a Bigfoot, you are not allowed to talk about it to anyone except for the people that work with that company.
I go read what Gemma put.
Oh, wow. When I had the C word last year, I hallucinated. Wow. But the thing is, you got kids out there looking out their windows and seeing movement in their heavy tree line. Are you trying to say that's going to be a hallucinant? When they're like 5, 6 years old.
You see, with kids wise, they get in their own little. I'm going to say it like this. They get in their own little magical world. They'll say they see something and it's not there, but then on the other hand, it could be there.
I was convinced I was seeing my dead family members and shadow people. Wow. But the thing is, you have to remember, Scott, kids up to a certain age is more open to paranormal and all these other cryptic zoology creatures than what adults are.
Right.
Yep.
Because of the simple fact that they weren't taught to ignore it. They weren't taught nothing's truly there. They were taught absolutely nothing so they can see what is there that other people cannot.
And Tanya, I wasn't trying to say all these sightings of the Dogman or Bigfoot or any other cryptic zoology creatures was all based off hallucinants.
No, I was just throwing those facts out there because a lot of people will say, oh, well, they were just hallucinating. Well, two people cannot hallucinate at the same time of the same thing. That would honestly mean that something was there when they were hallucinating.
But the thing is, how many kids do you see, young kids between the ages like 5 and 12 are seeing this shit go on, and nobody wants to believe them?
I'm gonna actually fucking bring that age down because it's more along the lines of 1 to about 7, because once you get to 7, 8, 9, 10 years old, you start get told that you don't see that, that's not right. Now, if let's say you take a child who can see stuff and you never tell them there's nothing there, stop making shit up, there's nothing there, they're going to continue seeing stuff because they were always encouraged to continue seeing what they see. And that is where you get people who are psychic mediums, who are able to see things that other people aren't, because they were never told that shit's not there.
You want to know something?
What?
I've always tried to tell that to Austin, because I never seen what he's seen.
Right.
Okay. I keep telling him that was his mind playing tricks on him.
Yep.
And you want to know what the funny part about it is? He still sees it.
Okay, Madison, that's totally different. I had some hallucinations when I was in the hospital last week. I was getting psychiatric help. That's totally different. We're talking to people that see the shit from the beginning. Now, there are people who see who don't see the shit, end up being in a situation where their time has come to an end, but they're brought back to life, like people who drown, people who die on the operating table, those type of people who have come back and said, I see more now. And the reason why is because their body stopped breathing. And it wasn't until somebody yoinked their fucking ass back from wherever they were back into the physical world. Because once our heart stops beating, our soul leaves because it thinks that it's dead. But when we get brought back, our soul comes back with us. Now, are there people that have housed a second soul because of doing this? Yes, there are. But I fully believe, and I'm going to put that out there real quick. I fully believe that those people that are like, oh, well, I had this major accident and now I can see like other beings that are not physically here. Here, I fully believe it, because there are so many people who, let's say,
put the camera on.
Okay.
There are a lot of people who have gone from this world to another universe or wherever, heaven, hell, whatever, and come back. Of course, they're going to see more. I was convinced I was seeing my dead family and members and shadow people. It made me feel like I was going mad. This is when you had C word, so I'm gonna assume CANS or CANC. And if that's the case, sometimes the treatment alone can cause that. But if it was just my family members, that wouldn't drive me nuts. But a lot of people see shadow things, shadow people, and shadow things moving, because a lot of shadow things are coming. Oh, C-19. Yep.
Oh, okay. That there. Okay.
That was. Did you have a high temperature? Because, and I'm going to tell you this right here, right now, a lot of people with high temperatures, the brain doesn't know how to process because it is overheating. And it's just like anything else when it overheats. It starts to formally shut down, and you will see things that you normally wouldn't see. Now, so let's take that into like a monitor, okay? A monitor, right? It's black. It's when it's off, or when it's on, it shows you what it's seeing. But when it's off, it should not show you what it's seeing. Now you take an overheated monitor that's been left on for decades. Sooner or later, the hotter that monitor gets, the more the image is going to be burned into the plastic of it. Okay? So, what that's saying is that when you shut it off, you're going to see what you were watching instead of what's really there. And with that's kind of like our mind, okay? When it shuts down, the veil has dropped. And a lot of people who have a higher temperature, that veil's going to drop easier because your body cannot process everything. So you're going to hallucinate of what you know. You know your dead family members. So you're going to hallucinate and see them. Now, if you were to tell me that it was your great, 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 great grandpa, and he said he was your great, great, and you've never seen him before, there's no pictures of him or anything along those lines, but you knew it was him, and then in 15 years down the line, they finally find a picture of him, and you're like, I've seen him before. Then, yeah, it would be on the supernatural. But 9 chances out of 10, it was family members that you knew in your mind. You knew it, like, you remember their faces and stuff because you've seen them. Even if it was like your great grandparents who were like, you have pictures of. Okay? So when those pictures, you see those pictures or you see whatever, there's there. And the reason that a lot of people have like see shadow people, and this goes for a lot of people, when you see shadow people, it's something is like your shadow people are black figures that walk away or whatever, and that's normally it's in the corner of your eyesight, and if you were to look at it you wouldn't see it because there's a perspective that floated across in your eyesight, and you end up catching it. That is why a lot of people see shadow figures that ain't there, is because something on the spectrum of like this side or this side, whatever side your visual prospects got blocked off, and it ended up causing like a shadow figure to be popped out in your eyesight. Basically, the reflectance of the light got blocked off somehow, and it formed a shadow figure.
Right.
Hang on a second. Let's pause for a second. Guys, I'm not going to say any names. Please do not spam the comment section with the same thing, because you will get timed out. Okay.
But yeah, that is why literally, if you, let's say you're going down the street, and it works best when you're tired. You're going down the street, all of a sudden, out of the corner of your eye, you see something. You don't know what it is, but you see something. Well, the reason that you've seen that something is because, of course, there was something that moved over on the long side of the road, whether it be a leaf, a branch, the grass. But you're so tired, your mind put an image there. And that's where a lot of people who are like, oh, well, I seen my great uncle George, who's my 13th cousin, literally fucking this whole line spiel of how they're related last night. And you're like, okay, what did he look like? Well, I couldn't make out his face. That's because you didn't recognize his face. That's because you didn't picture his face. What you seen was what your mind made up and you seen it. Now, am I saying there are not psychics? No, I am saying that there are psychics, but there are a lot of people who run around this world doped up on caffeine, nicotine.
Hey, leave me out of this.
Coke, rum and coke. Multiple hallucinating things. Fucking got 2 hours of sleep for the whole fucking week. Literally, their dog ass tired. You can see their dog ass tired, and they're starting to hallucinate that things are there. And they're like, "Oh my god, I'm a psychic."
There's no rum in there.
That. But the difference between a psychic and somebody who is just fucking doped up on shit is a psychic will straight up tell you what you want to know before you even fucking open your mouth.
Tanya?
Yes.
Can you keep my description out of your mouth, please?
Hey, if the truth hurts,
rum and coke.
No, bitch. If the truth fucking hurts, fucking swallow that pill and change it. How about that?
No, I like living.
Well, I'll swallow some rum and coke when I get home.
But no,
I gotta deal with it till I get home.
You want to know something? I just thought that was a perfect comment to say after you said all that, just because of all the people that come on here whining about everything with being tired and doing their thing and being on a caffeine high all the time. Because that's my life. But I don't hallucinate. Because actually,
yeah, Gemma, there you go.
Yes, I am.
So here's the thing. Again, like I said, there are a lot of... Okay, I also want to bring this into fact because I have seen this so much lately and it's pissing me off.
What?
Chris, how many times do we go to a fucking haunted house and not absolutely fucking nothing happened? We're sitting there for 3 fucking hours and nothing happened.
A lot.
Okay. I have seen so many ghost hunters go out to all of these locations. And within 5 minutes of going to this location, oh my God, there's this, there's that, there's a shadow person down the fucking hall. Now, the odds of finding something happening is fucking 45 out of 50%. And the reason I bring it down that low is because of the simple fact, let's take that 45% that something is happening. Now,
Tanya,
can we wait? You let me finish my rant, bitch.
I was going to say I have to argue with your percentages.
No, it's 45% out of 100, but there's a 55% chance that there is nothing going to happen, okay?
I'm thinking there's more like a 35% chance of something happening.
I'm talking every okay, so we go to 100 places. There's going to be about 45 that something's going to happen in.
We'll just go 50-50 there. How's that?
No, you cannot go 50. I'll go 35. I'll go with you on that 35. Now, we go to some place and we know it's haunted, and every time we go to the same location, something happens, but it's always something different. How do we know that it's a real-life item or a paranormal? And I'm going to explain how. Okay? Let's take the train area that Abraxas went to. When he was there, he showed all around him. Right? I heard footsteps behind him on the left-hand side. Not the right-hand side. The left-hand side. Now, in order for him to be able to do that, he would have to add an overlay. He has shown us where he does not do that. He just puts it all together. He doesn't add any overlays. He doesn't add any sounds or anything like that. And this is why I know when he shows evidence, there's evidence. But he didn't even catch that evidence. I caught that evidence. He didn't even know it was there. I caught it. There was footprints to the left of him. Now, on the right side of him was his mom in a car. When he turned around, if you slowed it down, you could see there was absolutely nothing there. And he turned around within seconds of hearing those footsteps. So that means that it was not the wind, because it was sound. It was crinkling of the gravel. Gravel makes a certain sound. When you walk on it, you hear it. Now, it was not the wind, because again, the wind sounds like this. Right?
Yep.
It blows your fucking ears out. Okay. So, again, it wasn't the wind, because it was the crinkling of the gravel. Did he move his feet? No, because he was standing still. How do you know he was standing still? Because of the simple fact that when Chris moves, so does his camera. If he were to move to the left, he would move to the right, forward, backward, or just moving in general, his camera would have moved with him, because he does not have a camera stabilizer. So that means his hand is like this. You move to the back, your hand's going to go to the back. You move to the front, your camera's going to go to the front. You move to the left, same thing. If you're just bouncing back and forth, guess what? If you're holding a camera like this and you're bouncing back and forth, guess what happens? Oh shit, look at my... You try to hold the camera still and you're bouncing back and forth, your camera's going to shake. Again, easy peasy lemon squeezy. Now, these people on YouTube that are running around making a mockery of paranormal hunters, there are people out there who are debunking them left and right. And to that community, the debunking community, I fucking thank you. Because it means that people who truly go out there and truly fucking understand what real ghost hunting is like. And the reason that we do it is because we want to show evidence that there is something out there that is not
there.
Okay. But they're building portals through their walls and shit like that. I'm sorry, but if you were to go from in a portal with a camera and then come back out of said portal, you're going to be on the same side of the fucking wall. It's not going to be a through and through. So again, let's throw that out of the water. People are tying fucking ropes to cabins, to toys, cabinets, to toys, to chairs, to move them and all this other shit. Why? Because ghost hunting is boring as fuck, and I will say it every goddamn day. It is boring as fuck. Nothing fucking happens 90% of the goddamn time. You walk out there, you fucking look, and all of a sudden you got a fucking rock thrown at you, and you run towards where that rock came from, and there's absolutely nobody there. The camera is on focus the whole fucking time. That is totally different than these fuckers that are running around throwing this, throwing that, throwing this, throwing that, and guess what? They're running away from it. Or they're showing knocking on doors, but when they walk out the door, they don't show to the left, they don't show to the right or the right, or they angle the camera perfectly so that way you can't see this half of the door. That means that there is somebody on the other side of that door faking it because you don't want to show all the fucking evidence. You look left, you look right, you look forward. You make sure that camera is with you every second of the beat, no matter where you go. And these paranormal investigators who are out there acting like a fucking fool is deteriorating the paranormal society.
There's a big one on that. Like asking for something to happen and they start screaming and running the opposite way.
Well, okay, so
do I need to bring their name up?
Sam and Cody?
No, they were on TV.
Zach Began?
No.
Taps.
Project Fear.
Oh yeah, Project Fear. So let's bring up all of these big time TV paranormal investigating bullshit. The reason that they are bullshit is because of the simple fact that, one, they who was it? Jason from Taps has clearly stated that half of the reason that they stopped doing taps is because, one, his partner started faking it. Why did his partner start faking it? Because of the simple solution that the TV crew told them to fake it.
That wasn't Jason, though.
Yes, it was.
That was Grant.
No.
That left.
No. Grant got fired. Get your fucking shit straight. Grant got fired for faking it. He got fired for faking it. Because the people at Sam and Kobe had on their channel from the Conjuring House, the people who could do the tapping. That is Jason's daughter. Jason called out his own fucking daughter on that bullshit. And that is why Grant got fired, because he was faking it and Jason found out. He said, I do not participate in fakery bullshit.
From the interviews that I've seen on YouTube with Grant,
Go watch Beardo Get Scared, because he finds out all the evidence. He talks to Jason himself.
No, okay. That's the problem then.
It's his side, her side, and the fucking truth. But
I hate to. Okay,
Beardo called out Grant for faking it. Beardo called Grant out for faking it. Showed the evidence that Grant was faking it.
Well, I don't trust any of them anyways. Not anymore.
Right, but Beardo actually goes out and he investigates, and I think him and his nephew actually caught something the last time they went out. But again, as a good paranormal investigator, if you hear talking, go look for who's talking. If you can't hear a voice inside, outside, I mean, you search that whole fucking premises. 9 chances out of 10, it's gonna be what?
Somebody talking.
Somebody talking that ain't there. You hear it with your own eyes, but your own ears, but your device don't catch it. That could be a paranormal thing, because like he experienced, him and another person were standing there. They could hear the sound clear as day, but the audio did not pick it up. That very, very, very much is a paranormal experience.
Just like the last time me and Cody went out to the haunted trail. Not the haunted trail, the haunted road.
You guys heard it, but I couldn't even hear it, and I wear these headphones and play it on my computer system.
Nobody heard the scream of a child when we were out there.
Exactly. So, again, what factors into paranormal? 1, a hallucination. Why are we going to hallucinate? Because we're on a drug, we're on a medication that's reacting negatively to us, or we have a high temperature. That is one of the reasons we're going to hallucinate. Or we're dog-ass tired and our mind's playing tricks on us. That is going to be something that, oh my God, did you see that? And no, I didn't see that. Well, you have to count in those reactions before you can say, hey, it's paranormal. Number 2, when you go to known haunted locations, you have to look for every evidence of why it's not. You do not just go out there looking for the evidence of what's out there. You look for every evidence of why it's not a paranormal investigation or a paranormal activity, because you're going to rule out every single one of those, and then you're going to be able to say, okay, that's a phenomenon.
Or, here's what I say. The best ghost hunter is a skeptic. Period.
100%. Now, let's say Chris, I, Roy, Missy, all go out to these woods. I bring my little go-go scooter and hook it up to Missy's wheelchair and pull her around. We gonna have some fun, okay?
Missy didn't hear that.
She heard it. Okay, so we go out investigating. Again, now we're gonna put into the perspective that Froggy don't see shit, but all of a sudden, to the left of her, Froggy sees a person. Missy sees a shadow because she only has light perspective, which means that she can see darkness and light, which means she can make out a shadow up there. She can't tell you exactly what it's wearing, but she sees a shadow up there. Roy, he don't see shit because he's looking the other direction, which is Roy. And Abraxas sees a shadow. He sees the exact same thing, spitting image, and we walk closer and there ain't shit there. Guess what? That is a fucking phenomenon. But we don't run from it, we walk to it.
But
I'm gonna be the bitch that gets killed by Bigfoot because I'm gonna be like, no, bitch, get back here. I want to prove you're real. And fucking get on my little go-go scooter and
then it dies. Because of all the paranormal activity draining your battery.
And then I'm gonna fucking get up and I'm gonna wobble my ass towards it, okay? At the end of the day, I'm chasing Bigfoot. I'm not gonna trap it. I'm not gonna get scared and run away. I'm gonna chase that motherfucker and be like, no, come back here. I got questions. I want answers. I don't care if it's her. I want answers.
Well, here's the thing. Also, as you noticed in some of my videos or pictures, yes, I can see shit out there, but it never gets picked up on camera either.
Well, if I had the same account that I had years ago, I don't even think I can look it up on Facebook. I have a picture in a cemetery. I'm by myself in this cemetery. I took a picture. And guess what? They fucking were there, but they weren't there. There was 2 kids sitting by the grave.
You took the picture and they were gone.
Yep. No, no. I took the picture and they were there. I'm looking for my old Facebook account.
Here's one. I took a picture of a little girl that was in the wood line out by Lime Lake. I took the picture. I seen it with my own eyes, but it never showed up on camera.
Right.
I seen it in the screen on the camera, but when I took the picture, it was gone. It didn't show up. But that's the thing. For something
Sometimes
like
shit ain't gonna show up even though you want it to.
That's not what I was getting at. That's the thing with spirits and shit. You can see it, but you won't be able to capture it, for one.
Or you capture it and you don't see it there.
Exactly. And it makes it where it's a good personal experience that you had without being able to capture it or whatever. I just wish I could put how I feel on camera, or you guys could see it.
Right.
That would be one hell of a camera to get. Because I guarantee I would buy one. You know?
Exactly.
Because my biggest video on YouTube is I was just shanked at the Jackson prison and nobody could see it. But I felt it.
Well, that's just like at that one house that we went to. You know what house it was?
Is that
the Avenel house?
Oh, the Avenel. Yeah. We heard glass breaking right when we were getting everybody in the vehicle because we were packing up, getting ready to leave.
Oh, I wasn't even talking about that. I felt when we were doing the one thing, and I bent over. Yeah, I felt the electricity, but guess what? Nobody else did. Nobody could see anything. All they could see was me fucking double over, laughing my ass off. Because, yeah.
And that's the thing. People will get personal experiences, but you can't capture that on camera.
Exactly.
Probably if you had a K2 over there, you might have been able to pick it up with that.
Right. But again, I literally was fucking laughing my ass off because
it was stimulating.
Very. Yeah, I can't find my old account to get that picture, but that fucking picture, it blew it's part of the reason that I became a paranormal investigator. It was midday. I'm walking through the cemetery and I'm like, if anybody wants to talk to me, come talk to me. And I snapped a picture at a little kid's headstone. And I didn't even see it until I got back home. There was a little girl. You could tell it was a little girl. She had her hair up in a ponytail. She was wearing a nightgown. And a little boy who was wearing suspenders. You know, those little kids' suspenders?
Yeah.
Sitting right next to the little girl.
Here's Missy's a good one for that. She's had so many personal experiences when we were down in South Carolina. It was unbelievable.
But you also got to remember that Missy, once again, she lost one sight of her, senses, so every other sense is going to be kicked up even more. That is why they say a lot of blind people can hear more and feel more because they can't see more. Now, like my neighbor, he can pick up on energies just by shaking your hand.
Well,
Whether it's a good energy feeding off of you or a bad energy feeding off of you because he's blind.
right. Well, this one cemetery that we went to, uh, we ended up taking Don't Hate on Blake or Twisted Souls to visit one of her family members. And they had a family graveyard across the road. I'll wait till Roy's done with Tanya.
Did you use the go-go scooter to pull it over here?
Yeah, that was a very long time. Joe, the scooter was fairly new. Papa got to pull the rod out. I don't think he knew what the fuck it was.
Well,
there's a rod underneath there, under the seat. You can disengage the rear end altogether. All you do is turn the wheels in.
Right.
I said, well, you would have done that, man.
I'm on a live, dude.
Pulled it pretty quick that way.
They used my go-go scooter to pull the lawnmower across the street.
anyways, unfortunately, this is the first time I ever seen an actual palm tree with my own eyes. The guy had one growing in his yard. Well, Brooke ended up taking me over to the cemetery. We walked around there for a little bit and stuff. I told her I was going to go get the car, pull it over, and we went by this gravestone. Missy had a sharp pain in her abdominal area. You remember that? Yeah. Well, we got up to Brooke, and we told her
what happened.
A few feet back, she got a sharp abdominal pain in her. She said, yeah, there's a stillborn child buried there.
Right, which would 9 chances out of 10 it was because placental abrasion, because let me tell you, that is one of the most painful fucking births you will ever have.
Well, also, she was looking for a couple gravestones. She could not find them when we were there.
Right.
Until after I came up to a complete stop, after I told her that, after she came up to the car, I asked, what the hell's that? She said, what? I said, it looks like there's 2 gravestones sticking up over there in the high weeds. And it was the relatives that she was looking for. The reason why they don't clear those out, because they were either A, shunned by the family for doing something wrong that they did not approve of, or whatever.
Amish do that a lot.
Well, she's not Amish, though.
No, but if you ever fucking talk to an Amish person or an ex-Amish person, they will tell you that there is a lot of unmarked graves outside of the Amish cemetery. They're just buried around the cemetery in unmarked graves because they are shunned by the Amish. Now, that tells me that there is a lot of fucking unmarked graves in the United States. Because the Amish was here for fucking forever.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, these graves were marked, but you could barely see the stones.
Right.
And then there was an area where it looked like somebody bent over a tree. They were actually sleeping in the cemetery.
I would sleep in a cemetery.
Then we went to another cemetery where she got out and she started screaming her head off. Because that's where she got stuck in between the dirt in the fence in her
Right.
wheelchair because she got over too far. She started screaming, "They're coming for me! They're coming for me!" Like, what the fuck? We're the only ones here. No, but they're coming for me. And Brooke went on the other side of the fence and looked, and it was Francis Scott's grave.
Right.
And his last words in an article that she showed me after we got back, saying his last words was, "They're coming for me."
Okay, so basically what I'm hearing is at the end of the day, it really doesn't matter. She picks up what other people's last words were,
Last
or
words, any
their
word,
feeling, or
right?
the feeling, because of course and I'm gonna tell you this because I had a placental abrasion. Okay, this is what happened to my son Charles. I ended up with this placental abrasion, which means that my stomach filled full of blood. That baby suffocates because it's such thick blood, or there's so much blood that all they're receiving is blood. So the baby ends up suffocating on the blood. The mother, her stomach, her uterus is filling full of blood. And the more blood, the bigger your stomach gets until it finally releases.
Right.
When I had Charles, blood splattered from one end of the hospital room to the other. They had to move me from that room to clean it because it was a gush of blood that just, from how long it was since, he was in me. So if that baby were to have died from placental abrasion, it would have felt nothing but sharp pains, just like that mother.
Right. Well,
Now, back in the old days, they didn't have doctors like we have nowadays.
right.
If you got a placental abrasion, you and that baby were bleeding to death.
Well, there's also another thing to the whole thing that she dealt with. We went to Lake Shawnee.
Right.
It was starting to rain. She wanted to just wait in the car.
Right.
It was starting to sprinkle. Well, she felt like her skull got bashed in.
Probably what they felt before they passed away.
Nope. What you don't know about Lake Shawnee, a lot of people don't know. There's a few that do. Lake Shawnee was an Indian burial grounds.
Right, but now let's remember what happened back in the old days when there was a fight.
Now, here's the thing. What she felt with her head was when they were digging to start putting in the amusement park.
Yeah, they broke a skull.
They ended up putting the shovel in the ground to hold it. They didn't put it in far enough.
Right.
What happened? The shovel fell over and hit one of the skulls from the burial grounds. And that's what she felt.
Oh, yeah.
The thing is, she picked up on that and told me her head was hurting. And I told her the story that they told us about the Indian burial ground with the shovel in the shallow grave.
Right. Can I also bring something up with the Indian burial grounds?
Yeah, give me 1 second.
Well, hurry up and stop fucking talking like you're a goddamn snail.
Swan
Well,
1000. There's a second thought.
gotta shut the fuck up.
He was
Anyways, she
gonna
ended up.
talk to his mother. So
She-
behave yourself.
Always, Mom. I'm just picking on him.
But the thing is, she thought it was
You
an
have to come out
experience
here to eat.
that she had that would be useful for them to tell.
Right. So,
And when she told Chris, the guy that was running it, he ended up, really? Wow. And then he asked if he could actually use that story when they talk about the place.
true. Now, can I say what I was going to say?
Go ahead, little Miss Impatient.
So, back in the older days,
Come on,
when-
pick it up. Don't talk
Shut up.
still.
when people wanted to take over a place of land, they would go in and they would pillage the Indian tribe, and they would bring them to a rock, and then they would smash, like cut off their necks. But a lot of them, by the time they got to the very end of it, because their knives and shit would be dull, they would just end up smashing their fucking skulls in and killing them that way.
Right.
Because, like modern day technology, they didn't have it at hand. So they were using the same axe repetitively to chop through all the bones and everything else. So by the time it got down to the very last male, because a lot of them kept the males, but they killed the males and kept the women and the children, what they would do is they would just beat the Indian skull, and so that way it like cracked and killed them. But that is why a lot of people, when you walk through an Indian burial ground, a lot of people feel a sharp feeling on their head, because what it is after they got done demolishing all of the fucking Indians, they would have the families, the mother and the children, go out there and bury them. Or other, like people in their colonization, to go out there and bury them, just so that way to hide the evidence and get rid of the bodies. That is why a lot of times, especially with the way the modern day growth of the earth is, you will find bodies in between, I want to say at least 25 to 6 feet underground. Because for every year that we are on this earth, the earth crust rises. Now, the only reason that you know this is because back when dinosaurs roamed the earth, they don't find their graves 4 or 5 feet underground. They find dinosaurs' bones 30, 40 feet underground. That means with that, from the time the dinosaurs roamed the earth till now, there is 30 extra feet of dirt on the world.
Okay. Here's a question for you.
Okay.
Why did the Indians bury anywhere from 3 foot to 6 foot deep?
The reason that they buried so far is depending on how the spirit was. Now, I will tell you that back in the old days, Indians used to fully believe that a spirit could come back. Now, if they were a bad spirit or a bad Indian at that point in time, like Shawnees who decided to turn themselves into Wendigos or whatever, there are bad Indians out there. What they would do is they would bury them further down so that way they could not come back up.
Nope.
Why?
The changing of the seasons.
Oh, true.
It was easier to dig only 3 foot down during the winter time to bury their dead than the 6 foot because of the frost.
Right, but isn't it true that the further down you go, the warmer it is?
Yes, but they are only working with like rocks and stuff like that to dig with.
True.
So they would break the top layer to where they could give a proper burial, but not as deep in the winter.
Now, my question is, let's take some of these mythical creatures that we see all over the place. Okay. Or we hear about all over the place. Don't see it because I've been everywhere. When their familiars pass away, they bury them, right?
I would think so.
Now, the only reason I say this is because there has been a lot of research done that, like, if you're walking through the woods and you see a ring of rock piles,
Yeah.
that is a familiar of a creature, Bigfoot. Now, that says that in that familiar, or that they don't bury them with like gravel, they bury them with rocks.
Yes.
We bury ours with dirt, they bury theirs with rocks. Why are scientists not going out and looking up these rocks and seeing what's underneath? Because they'll find bones and then
Well,
they'd be able to test the bones. But since how Bigfoot supposedly is a mythical creature in between apes and humans, would it come up with ape human DNA? Would it have the same traces as a DNA, but the same traces as an ape?
that I don't know, because there is one show out there that was mostly for show
Uh,
than
Mon-
hunting them.
Mountain
I'm talking about
monsters,
mountain monsters.
right?
They have actually took in hairs that they have found to see what they were, and that DNA was nowhere in their database.
Right. So again, I bring this forth. In Mountain Monsters, they show where familiars were buried. Why
Yes.
did they not dig for the bones? But if they dig for bones, are you upsetting a mythical creature? Also, are you upsetting the earth by digging up those bones? But let's say somebody just needed a rock for God knows what, and they move one of them, and then they see a Bigfoot creature there. Again, if an accident happened and they stumbled upon it, would there not be a reason for that? Also, is that why we have so many rocks in the woods?
Maybe. But there's also another thing. At the end of that one show of Mountain Monsters, they did start moving the rocks, but what happened? They were getting attacked,
Right.
or ambushed.
Right. And it wasn't just ambushed by the mythical creatures, it was also like everyday animals. Like they were being chased down by fucking wolves, they were being chased down by coyotes, they were being chased down by fucking whatever was out there, they were being chased down by them.
So, with that perspective, to get back to your one question about why haven't people moved the rocks to dig there to find out what's under it, maybe the same thing happened to them and they learned to be aware of it.
Well, also in the Mountain Monsters, and I know we're basing a lot of shit off of TV, leave us alone, we're just having a discussion. On Mountain Monsters, they also show that in the perspective of their captain, what's his name? Trapper. Trapper was digging. Trapper used to be an oil rigger. He set up an oil rig, and something happened. Who is to say that we have not broke the gates of hell by digging up all this oil?
Exactly. Look at their final mission. After Trapper was dead.
Right.
You remember that whole big ass hunt where they had to go back and visit the Cherokee Devil, and all those mythical creatures that they've hunted out before.
Right.
And then they went to prove that there were wolves in West Virginia.
Right, and that's where Trapper was digging oil. But
yeah,
and they not only Trapper, but somebody who worked with Trapper at that point in time, whose land it was, said that they had to gate off a certain area because of what was released when they were trapping. And when they looked down
exactly.
in the oil rigs, they could see burning hot flames.
Yep.
But if you dig down to the core, you're going to get lava.
Exactly.
And how deep is the core? How deep is the earth before you hit the core?
Real deep, though.
Right. No machine can dig that far down.
Unless there are pockets inside the Earth's core that's higher than what the main core is.
Right. But again, at the same point in time, we will never believe any of this unless we see it for ourselves, which brings us all the way back to the fucking paranormal hunters and all of this. You're not going to believe it unless you see it for yourself. But at the end of the day, there are too many people out here faking it, trying to make you believe bullshit, when in reality, there is something out there. We just don't know what it is.
All right. Go, Missy.
And that is where we get ourselves fucked up.
Right. Give me a second. She's trying to. So,
but at the end of the day, it comes down to what you believe
and what you don't.
And what you don't. Now, we could take somebody like Lunatic Dad to one of the biggest, baddest motherfucking scariest places in the whole entire world, and he'd walk through there like nothing. Why? Because he's not looking for nothing. But it could also turn out that he wouldn't walk through there because he's going in looking for nothing, and he'll come out a different person because he'll see what he hasn't seen. But at the same point in time, he still has seen things because he's seen things in his house.
All right, straight down to the core is 1,802 miles before you hit the core.
Yeah. So again,
there's not enough drill bits to even go that far.
Exactly.
Or
most drill bits are what, 50 fucking feet?
It depends. I think a lot of the oil rigs in Texas are down over 100 feet, about 150 feet. To hit that real good pocket of oil. I know a lot of wells for houses are down like 150, 160 feet.
Right. That's what I'm looking right now is how big it is. I shouldn't say big. I should say long. Huh?
Deep. Yeah, let's see what the poem says. What is the deepest hole drilled in the earth? Uh, 40,230 feet, 7.61 miles.
Yeah, so they ain't even fucking that close. Right.
That was in Russia.
What I want to do is I want to look up what happened in Virginia, but I don't remember if it's Virginia or not. Because then you also got to look into the folklore is if it truly fucking happened and whatnot.
And the only reason why they stopped drilling was due to financial issues.
Right. You would think they would get oil though. But yeah, even a human cannot dig down that far. So again, I mean, when you look at it, there's so many different things that can fuck us up.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. A human can, but you won't be able to survive.
Right.
Just to hit the outer core, it is 2,885 kilometers.
Yeah, which is 1,802 miles.
Right. Now, ooh, Abraxas.
Yes.
I have a show for tomorrow on my channel.
Oh, really?
Guess who? With Joker.
Oh,
We're gonna discuss men's mental health.
Nice.
Now, the reason that I'm saying men's mental health is because we all know that men. I'm gonna put it to you this way: men are told don't cry. Men are told don't feel this, don't feel that. Men are told they're not allowed to have emotions.
It's just what it is. Men holds in more than what I think personally. Men holds in more than what a female holds in.
Why? Because they're taught at a young age. They're taught from their dads, don't you cry. I'll give you a fucking reason to cry. Stop being a pussy. Stop being a bitch. I even hear it in my own fucking house. Only girls are on the phone for that fucking long. Guys, they want to get on the phone and get off.
Well,
hey, watch my speed disc, get it, boy.
So that is going to be my topic for tomorrow.
Nice.
What up, kid? The cool.
But are you willing to go out to the woods with me?
Fuck yeah, I am. Let's go.
But nobody says our hunt has to stop with just the Dogman.
Oh fuck no, we're going out. We're gonna go out. We're gonna go fucking investigate because I'm gonna have a go-go scooter and we're gonna go investigate. That gives me 3 years.
Now, how are you going to drive that around in the woods? You ain't going to get too far without hitting a lot of stuff. You're going to tear that up before you get...
That's going to give us 3 years for Roy to build my go-go scooter with the motor and bigger tires.
Again.
4-wheel drive, bitch. Anyways, okay, guys. Scott, any last words?
Peace out, love y'all. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this subject. If you haven't, hit that old man up on the top left. Like, share, subscribe. Peace.
Hello, Keaton.
All right, everybody. I hope you had an amazing time. Don't forget to hit the like, subscribe, and follow everybody on this panel. You got Lunatic Trucker, you got Lunatic Froggy, and you got Abraxas Paranormal, whose channel you are on. Now, if you have any qualms or qualms about what we discussed, please put it down in the comments. And if you are a firm believer in the mythical creatures, please explain why down in the comments. If you hate mythical creatures, please explain why down in the comments. And I hope you had an amazing time. Please come join the rodeo again.
Guys, just to let you know, this is only part 1 of this subject. We are going to be going deeper into it. Because not only Michigan has the Michigan Dogman sightings, they also got Bigfoot sightings and
Mothman!
West Virginia's hometown creature, the Mothman.
Ooh.
Of the Mothman, yes, here in Michigan.
I will say the Mothman has a fucking bomb ass, okay?
You like that ass. You want to touch that ass.
I want to smack that ass. You ever seen a fucking nice sperm ass that you just want to...
Yeah, but people
I'm going to get sexually harassed by the... I'm going to get sexual harassment charges by the Mothman.
Let's put it this way. The Mothman here in Michigan is not like the Mothman in West Virginia. I have heard stories about the Mothman through YouTube that people have seen in Michigan, and they actually say it looks like a mutated moth. Imagine the wingspans, because a lot of those wingspans are fucking huge on moths, especially those giant ones.
Wait. So we're taking a mutated moth, which a moth normally has the wingspan of twice his body. And we're adding that onto probably a 6 to 7 foot man. Now, if you twice, that's 14 inches long fucking wingspan, 7 feet on each side.
Let's put it this way. I seen I ended up catching a moth at work. This son of a bitch was like 3 inches long.
Right.
Imagine, and the body of it was about like that. It looked like a miniature bat.
Right.
So, yeah. With that being said, guys, much love. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Please check out everybody that's up here on the panel. Even the midget up Lunatic Trucker's ass, he would have a lot of fun with getting more fan base than what Lunatic Trucker gets. But guys, have fun. And like I said, we will be touching into the subject deeper. And when it comes closer to that time to go out to hunt this dog down, to try to get actual footage of it, we will be touching on the subject a lot more then. But guys, I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and we will see you guys tomorrow on Lunatic Froggy's channel.
Love you. Bye.
Peace.
Later.